Hey guys, Judy here with another character changelog video for Season 2, and it's now Nina's turn. So let's get straight into it with her new moves. Her first new move is forward 3 plus 4, 1. This is a natural mid-mid string, which is now her heat engager. And it starts up at 14 frames, and of course, if it successfully connects as a heat engager, it's plus 17. The whole string on block is, however, minus 14, so quite punishable. And if we're just looking at the forward 3 plus 4 by itself, it is plus 1 on hit and minus 6 on block. Her second new move also pertains to this string, however, it's her 2 extension, so it also has to be more precise, so forward 3 plus 4 on hit or block 2. This is also a mid-mid, which comes out with the guns at the end. It's not a natural combo, however it is minus 9, so it is safe on block. And as an added bonus, since it is of course a gun move, she has a charged up version in the heat of it. So her actual last new move is during sidestep 1 plus 2 into 1 plus 2. So this is her new extension. Of course, because it comes out with guns means that in heat she has a charged up version of this. And of course, what that also means is that since it's a gun move, it does chip damage. Same applies for the previously gun mentioned moves. What you maybe also notice is that during sidestep 1 plus 2 doesn't knock down anymore. So yeah, that is a major nerf for Nina. But honestly, because people could get a pickup combo afterwards, this is actually a good nerf in my opinion. The other thing is that they've also changed how it interacts on block, so it's slightly better. It used to be minus 9, it's now minus 8. I think it makes a great deal of a difference, but yeah, that's how it is. So we continue now with the semi-new moves. These are actually just transitions now, so new transition options into ducking step. So firstly we have 1 plus 4, which can now, after pressing forward, can transition into ducking step. You're going to see why this is actually quite a buff. And then we have down 2-2. So just down 2, she can now press forward afterwards and transition into ducking step. And what we have here is that we have forward 1, and this can also now transition into ducking step. What they've also done is they've changed the behavior of the opponent on hit, on block. They've increased the distance to the opponent. They kind of have a new animation. However, I don't think it really makes a difference because if you use ducking step, you'll be close to them anyway. And here we go with the next major change in my opinion, and that is while running or instant running 1 plus 2 can now be executed from ducking step by pressing whilst being in ducking step forward 1 plus 2. This gives her crazy pressure out of ducking step now and more mix-up opportunities because the move is plus on block. And yeah, I think that's really crazy. We now have a peculiar command input change for her unblockable, which used to be back 2 plus 3. Now you have to input back 2 plus 3. I like this change because I'll be honest, on very rare occasion I would accidentally input the unblockable. It rarely happened, but now it's definitely not going to happen anymore. So we can continue now with back 1 plus 2. So what they've done here is that the opponent's recovery time whilst blocking has been increased. So that means it's been buffed on block. It used to be minus 7, now it's minus 4, so been buffed overall. And then we have back 3 plus 4, 1 plus 2. This is kind of different because they've made numerous changes here. So the first portion of the string has actually been buffed quite a bit. It received tracking to Nina's weak side, being her right. And what they've also done is that the move generally recovers 2 frames faster. And what that means is that regardless of hit or whiff, it's quicker. And that also means that with the new buff to block being 2 frames, in total it's 4 frames on block. So don't be confused by going from minus 9 to minus 5 now. And the change to the second portion of the string is a bit peculiar in that they've extended the input window for the second hit by 7 frames. So now this move is kind of delayable, and that means in total it can be an interesting poke move and a keep out move because it also tracks Nina's weak side. While running or instant while running 3-3 now does chip damage on the second hit. That's a buff, of course. Then we have quarter circle forward 1, and what they've done here is they've buffed the move in that they've changed the behavior on the opponent on block, and so they're closer to Nina. Nina, of course, is a +1 with this move, and to buff it even further, the chip damage used to be 3, now it's 5. And then we also have quarter circle forward 2, the other mix-up option which he has out of that, and that is now comes out 1 frame faster. Depending on the distance, it used to be 17 to 18 frames, now it's 16 to 17, and that is definitely a very good hit. Here's one that's a bit confusing. While the opponent is down, the stomp move, they say they've buffed the damage from 20 to 30, however you're seeing 24 damage, and that is because if the opponent is lying on the ground, then it's kind of scaled, but they have to write 30, I don't know why, but in reality it's just 24. Here's one I should have actually mentioned right after the new moves, being our Power Crush. This no longer is a heat engager, which I think is overall a very good change. They've also buffed the tracking, but only in the scenario that the Power Crush absorbs another move like a jab or a down forward jab before it comes out. It's most likely more of a consistency thing, not really a buff. So next up we have 3 strings that have been changed in the same way, of course, being 1, 2, 1 plus 2, then the next string is down forward 1, 2, 1 plus 2, and then lastly we have down forward 3, 2, 1, 2, 1 plus 2. What they've done here is that they've change the behavior at the end of the string. So the thing which looks like the Power Crush but is not the Power Crush, that little thing at the end. They've buffed these, so they're now plus 14 at the end on hit. Sounds kind of major, but what they've done in reverse is that they've changed the counter hit probability of the move. Before it used to be counter hit launching, but now it no longer has that property, which I think now is just a change, a buff, and a nerf at the same time. Next up we have quite a few changes to down forward 1, 2. It's been buffed overall. So firstly, what they've done is they've buffed the second hit's tracking, but of course only in the case that the first hit was blocked or hit. And what they've also done is that they've extended the reach of the first portion of the string, so the hitbox has kind of been buffed. What they've also done is that they've generally adjusted the recovery time, so now this move on hit / counter hit recovers 2 frames faster. What that means in the scenarios are, of course, if you input down forward 1, 2 into forward into ducking step, what it is that before it used to be +5 on hit, now it is +7, and on counter hit it goes from +12 to +14. And then when it comes to her sidestep counseling version of this, so down forward 1, 2 into sidestep, so up or down, on hit it used to be +4, now it's +6, and on counter hit it goes from +11 to +13. That is quite some big buffs regarding that, but they've also kind of adjusted the move in other ways in that they've decreased the damage on the first hit. It used to be 13 damage, it's now 10. And then what they've also done is on block, they've nerfed the frame data for the second hit. It used to be -3, now it's -5. So I think now you can get more counterplay going against Nina if you're not too deep into Tekken, so she shouldn't be able to spam this all the time. Back 3-4 got some changes. It's a bit misleading. They say that now follow-ups on the ground are possible, but in reality this move no longer knocks down the opponent, but it leaves Nina at +14, so that means that she can now connect with her new heat engager forward 3+4 1, and of course the scaling on this will be 70%. Next up we have While Rising 4, the generic While Rising 4. It seems like they've fixed an issue where the move had more than intended tracking, and I think it has to do with the changes which are coming in May to stepping from crouch. They want to maybe make sure that there are no exceptions to that. Apart from that, we also have a fix to while ducking, but the version which puts you in crouch, so not the full ending, just the down forward one. It seems like they fixed an issue. It seems sometimes you could just cancel it immediately into a back input, so you could stand, and this is no longer the case. And the last change pertains to down forward 3-2, cancelling it into back sway. They said here they fixed an issue where certain inputs allowed unintended cancellation of recovery frames. First I thought like maybe most of her combos which she's doing were not intended, and they kind of changed that, but I tried that for myself, at least with the regular staple ones I know, and they were functioning, so I think this is just generally a bug fix. So that brings us to the end of Nina's Season 2 changes. As usual, leave a comment telling me what you liked, what you disliked about the changes, or what you would have liked to see instead. Personally, if you ask me, I kinda like her changes in Season 2, I'm not going to lie. I think the nerfs are justified. I think more could have been the case. As for instant while running 1+2 out of ducking with a relatively easy input, I think that's kinda crazy. But yeah, it goes with the 50-50 nature of the game. Yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. Thanks a lot for watching, and you guys know the drill. If you liked the video, of course, leave a like. If you want to, consider subscribing. This is your boy Juti. See you on the next one.